Thank you guys again so much for joining us for Design Show 2021. We're thrilled to have you here and really appreciate all the work that you've put in to reviewing through all these great pieces, all this great design work, and creating a collection. Your collection is Uplifting Community. Can you tell us a little bit about the pieces and what you were looking at?
So we were looking at mostly just inclusion and representation. We were also trying to pick we were trying to pick things that that we felt sort of aligned with our goals and our mantra.
Yeah, our mission is to focus on our community, like the creative communities, not just our specific fashion related communities. So we figured using that as our theme, as our kind of like way to like a guideline towards our selections would be better. It represent us and how we want to like interact with our community.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Did the cat have a favorite?
He's got an opinion about everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are kind of some of the common design conventions that you saw in the pieces that made the final cut for you?
I think really what it was for us were the people behind it, just kind of the thought behind it. We did a lot of like, oh, that looks cool or that looks good, but then we'd read about it in their bio and whatever, and that's kind of where we made the decisions based off of.
So the write-ups on the projects about what was the purpose, what was the intent, that really helped guide your decision making.
Yeah,
that did. It was interesting to see like how they were actually like deployed, if you will, how they made it and how they affected, like how the outcome was affected by the community, how it was reacted to, which was really interesting to us.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Some of them were student projects and didn't necessarily have as much, impact on the community. It was more so just in the classroom, but it was still the sort of basis of what we were looking at like how we could imagine it, being impactful in a community.
What were some of your favorite pieces?
To be honest, well, for me, it like, I feel like I've been kind of guided a little bit by the times. Right. So I really appreciated like the activism or like the call to action aspect of some of these pieces. But then I was really like, you'll see that in our collection, we've got pieces that are like, one is like an informational, like the kids in tech, that really drew me because I feel like in our goal to like uplift our community, we really need to be able to access children and do something that will give children opportunity. That's where I feel like we really kind of, as a culture, we're always focused on the here and now. We are not necessarily thinking about our futures. So I like the idea of like kids in tech and this nonprofit trying to help give these children opportunities to grow where they might not have that. And I also really like the sense of organization that Ducks in a Row kind of wanted to instill. Like really simple thought, but something that you, as you get older, it's inherent to be a certain type of organized, whether or not it's really organized. right? Like we all have our own kind of chaos theory.
That's right.
But and especially as a creative, it's like, don't touch that pile.
The great thing about Zoom is we can all hide our piles from one another.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know, but then like with children, it's not inherent. It's just, this is how we do things, you know. And I feel like to give them a skill set that they will inadvertently use for the rest of their growing up.
Well, I mean, it also kind of guides them through their life. You know, growing up, we were not organized by any means. Like the organized mess was kind of the way of the land in our house.
Right.
And so seeing the opportunity for kids to have that sort of like access to organization not only could change their, you know, their upbringing, but it could also change how they approach school and college and things like that. You know, it makes small differences in every aspect of their life.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, now, so your background, your work is in fashion design.
Correct.
How did that play a role in your view of these kind of graphic design and interactive design pieces? It's probably, you know, you didn't go to school for graphic design, I'm assuming. You know, so how does that play?
So we actually did go to school for graphic design.
Oh, fantastic. All right. You're part of the tribe. I love it.
Yeah.
But fashion was really something that just kind of spoke louder to us. And one thing I believe about fashion is that it's a form of communication. It's a language, and it's a language that everyone can use, but not necessarily knows how to use. And I think for me, translating that into the graphic and the artistic realm of this project, I think helped me anyway, just kind of see past some of the just like first look sort of feelings, you know, because imagery is very similar to, you know, clothing as far as like it's an outward expression of someone's thoughts and emotion and personality or whatever. But then, like I said, we'd go through and read a little bit about the project, about how it was, where it was used, how it was used, and just sort of yeah, that's sort of how I used it. I feel like that was a bad description.
No,
I mean,
that was fantastic.
yeah, I think you're accurate. We really, like, when we put ours, when we start our design process, we definitely like look at fashion as an art form, as like as a higher art. So it definitely has to be more than just, ooh, that's pretty, you know.
Right.
It has to tell a deeper story. And so that's, like Tom said, or kind of echoing him, that's how we went through the process of selecting these pieces for our collection.
Yeah, and hence the reason why the descriptions mattered so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, so did you see any kind of you know, common themes when you're looking through all these submissions? Are you seeing some common themes that seem to be expressing any sort of unique voice coming out of Minnesota these days?
Oh yes, I think for me, I felt like there was, again, like a call to action, or at least a call for purpose.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I noticed most. It was a call for purpose. That's a really good way to put it. Even if it was more subtle in some than others, I think the overall theme was a call to purpose, a call for community, and support of each other.
I love it. I love it. Anything you're going to take away from this experience?
Excuse me. Honestly, like a physical takeaway is that portrait series, Front Porch Portraits, I believe it was called. I'd like to pick up a copy of that. That looks really cool. And
All right, we'll make a connection. We'll make a connection. We'll get that happening. Absolutely.
I really loved it visually. I would, whether or not being a curator, I definitely want to participate in this event in the future, because I do think it's a really interesting perspective, and just like a way to like for creatives across the creative community to really just like get involved, because I think that's something that we really need. We're such a melting pot for all of these different creative avenues, but they are all very much in their like niche, stages and genres, we'll say. So I don't see a lot of like cross-pollination, which this I feel like is a really cool opportunity to do that and encourage that.
I love cross-pollination. No, that's fantastic. Any final thoughts for the attendees tonight?
Really, I would say, definitely first impressions are the most important. The images or the collections that strike you are going to definitely be the ones to look deeper, look further, but give everything a shot. Think about it.
Yeah, I think that would be my final statement too, is just give everyone a chance and just look a little deeper. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Tim+Thom, Tim and Thom Navarro, where can we find you online?
Right now, we're mostly on Facebook and Instagram. You can check out our Black Hearts Ball website.
Which is under construction, but it is coming.
Excellent.
The next event in person that you can see us is Black Hearts Ball on February 11th, 2022.
All right, mark your calendars, everyone. Guys, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. All your hard work, especially given the challenges that we've got with doing this all remote, but we really appreciate it.
Thank you for involving us.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.